Alright, in this video we are going to do a butterflied or spatchcock chicken, and then we're going to smoke it on our Weber. We're going to use applewood, and then we're going to make a Mango-Bourbon like honey glaze to go on it. So this isn't a competition chicken, but it's really geared towards those who just want to get better at barbecue, better at chicken. Probably one of the compliments I get the most on any meats is I seem to always have moist and juicy chicken. And not a lot of beginners or just people generally just like to cook barbecue have the briner buckets or injection needles. They don't cook a lot like us competitors who kind of go the extra few steps, which I actually like to, but this is kind of geared towards those who are like, I don't have all those, but how can I produce a really good chicken for, backyard, for a family get together, just all around, gathering with friends. So one reason why or a couple reasons why you'd want to spatchcock or butterfly a chicken: when it cooks more evenly, and it does get done quicker. And it is fun to do actually the whole birds instead of just like the thighs and drumsticks like a lot of times that you might see us do. So you can, a couple ways to actually do this. You can actually come in and cut the backbone out or use some poultry shears. So and that's what we're going to do. So we have the breast meat here, and then we have the backbone. So we're going to take this out. I've done a couple chicken videos, so hopefully I provide just a little bit of some extra info to help those along. So we're going to take this backbone out. We're going to come in and go along the side and cut this. And of course you can save the backbones for chicken stock, or just smoking in general, using on kind of whatever you see fit. I try to go as close as I can right along the spine. So in my Weber, like I said, I've got applewood. I've got a half gallon in the water pan. I like to cook, whenever I'm doing food in my Weber. I like to use the water pan. So I got about a half gallon in the water pan. I don't have anything else in the water. Some people can, you can put spices, you can put onions, peppers. Alright, so we want to flatten that out as much as possible. And I like to try to at least have my skin tight. You can actually, a lot of competitors come in and put toothpicks or pins in there. I'm not worried about that today. Okay. So what I like to do is come in and jacquard the skin just so the fat out of the skin will render down, and that skin should adhere to the meat a little bit better. So, okay. So if you're not going to brine, if you're not going to inject, or you don't have anything to use, to brine this with, the trick is to use some butter up under the skin. And you can season the butter. Or you can just come up like so. Try to get that all the way up into the breast meat, because really the only thing you've got to worry about is really this breast meat drying out. Anytime you're dealing with chicken, so you have the dark meat and then you have the white meat. Dark meat is more nutrient rich, more blood rich, so it's going to have less of a chance to actually dry out. Your white meat, since it's breast meat, has more of a chance to dry out because there's not as much nutrients that get into the white meat. So really this is the only part that you have to actually worry about drying out. The trick is you want to cook this to 165, and dark meat, especially in the thighs and the drumsticks, I like to have 185. So I'm going to take this glove off, dry that skin just a little bit. One of the things I learned cooking chicken is, during the cooking process, you don't want to, like with pork, you might spritz, ribs, you might spritz, but with chicken, you really don't want to moisten the skin. So I don't put any oil on the outside like I would with ribs. I'm using a salt, pepper, garlic blend. This is our Pepperazzi. So now what we'll do is we'll cook this on a rack. I like cooking on racks when I can. That way it's just easier to take off. Alright, so we're going to cook, we're going to smoke this between 250 and 300. I'm okay if my temperature ramps up. I think we're hovering around 250. Yeah, we're right around 250. So I'm going to get this chicken on. We're going to cook that to, we'll check it in about 45 minutes roughly. Okay, so now we got this set up, and this is our glaze. This is a half stick butter. We've got 1 shot of bourbon, a squirt of honey, a half cup of brown sugar. I did a little bit of salt and pepper in it, and then I used some Jumex mango juice in this. And I'll make sure we have the exact measurements and the ingredients posted in the video. So the butter under the skin in the chicken is designed to keep it moist. And then we got the skin seasoned. I didn't worry about seasoning the other side of it. We can do that kind of towards the end. I'm not too worried about seasoning that back side. I like to have the skin seasoned. And then we'll get this going. We'll reduce it down. And then we'll just kind of come back and check on it, and I'll let it cool. And then as that gets finished, towards the end when we're about ready to pull it, set a really nice glaze on that and kind of break it down, see what it looks like. All right, it's been 45 minutes, so we're going to check this. And so I've got all the vents open on the Weber. We're setting at 250. And the breast meat, we're setting 120. That side's like 125. I don't want to go all the way to the bone there. So 140-ish. Okay, not bad. A lot of times with these, cooking on like a Weber or a barrel smoker, you just want to give it like a quarter turn there. And so I've always found that if you go way low, below 250, 225, the skin can become a little rubbery. Seems like 250 or up, or 275. My ideal temp, I always like around 275, 300. I think the skin just kind of comes out a little bit better, but 250 and a little bit higher, you're always okay with that. That's why I always like to jacquard the skin or whenever I'm cooking chicken. Some people like to go a lot higher, a lot of hotter, faster. At least with my experience cooking like 350 degrees, the white meat and dark meat, you'll have a pretty good difference in the temperatures with that, and plus the skin tends to be pretty dark. So by the time you get to your doneness and temp, the skin can sometimes look, almost burnt. And I like to avoid that. I think, we all kind of eat with our eyes. I do believe appearance, matters, whether you're cooking just for like a backyard party or, of course, a barbecue temp, or a barbecue contest. So it's been 45 minutes. We'll probably give it, I would say, about another 30 minutes. And then we'll kind of heat the glaze back up. And this is kind of what it looks like. Again, there's honey, bourbon. I used Jumex mango juice. There's brown sugar in there. We'll have the recipe listed. I basically got it to a rolling boil, dialed it down, let it simmer for about 10 minutes, and just pulled it off the heat and let it set. And so we'll check the temp the chicken in about 30 minutes, and hopefully be ready to glaze. We'll glaze it and kind of pull it off, see what it looks like. All right, we're hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes into it. So we're almost at 140 in the breast meat, and then the thighs are 150. All right, and we're still setting about 250 degrees. So, okay, actually, I'm gonna give this another spin. Roughly like a quarter turn, and we'll cover this. And we'll check on it in another like 30 minutes. All right, we're hitting 162 in the breast part of the chicken. I've got my glaze warm. So we're going to pull this out, glaze it, and then finish it back on the smoker. When it hit 145 degrees, I made sure all the vents were open. And then I added about a quarter of lit charcoal in the chimney. Filled it about a quarter full, lit it, added it to the Weber, and then I slowly brought my temperature up to, it's hitting like 300 degrees now to finish it off and to render that skin down. So we're going to go ahead and pull it, glaze it, finish it on there, and then we'll pull it off and then cut it, and I'll show you with the finished product. But let's go ahead and pull this off. I'll just let that set off. So this is our like honey bourbon mango glaze, and I'll make sure I have the details of the ingredients listed. And then I'm going to give it another 10 minutes on the Weber to really let this glaze set. Okay. All right, we'll give it 10 minutes. We'll pull it, and the glaze should be set really well. And we'll cut it, and we'll show you some juicy glazed chicken. And I hope these tips help you in case you're having trouble with, you know, cooking chicken and maybe coming out dry. And, you know, you're just one of those cooks that maybe don't have injectors or brine buckets or bags, or don't want to go, you know, to that extent. I've injected, I've brined, I've done both, and I've even done this method where you just put butter up under the skin. So it makes for a nice presentation, and of course it also makes for nice juicy chicken. So 10 more minutes and we'll pull it off. Let's see, and let that set just for, oh, maybe 2 or 3 minutes. So hopefully you can see that real well. But that is, I mean, it's extremely moist. We didn't do anything else to it. And that glaze is killer. I think I'm going to use that on pork, maybe even some ribs. So hopefully you give that a try. I mean, if you're, you know, not doing, you know, I do competition, so I tend to go the extra mile and do injections and brines, but I mean, it just shows you, you just give it a little TLC in the beginning, watch your temp, cook the collar. You know, you can do some basic stuff like add butter up under the skin. You could have seasoned the butter and, you know, come out with extremely tender, moist and juicy chicken. So hopefully you give this recipe a try, and give us a like, a follow on social media. Check us out on our website, thehamgoodbbq.com, and thanks for watching. I hope you give this recipe a try. Watch some of our other videos. We plan on having a lot more other tips and other recipes to help you along so you can be a better backyard barbecue pit master. Thanks for watching.